one of my mantras through my career has been make new mistakes, fix the stuff that was bad, and then innovate. Do something new, do something big, do something bold.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with a big time interview. Today we have a very special guest. The CEO of Fanatics events, our friend Lance Fensterman, is joining the pod today as we are less than 2 weeks away from Fanatics Fest in New York. Lance, welcome to the pod, and thank you so much for coming on.
My pleasure. I can't believe it. It's 2 weeks. This is bananas. I should probably be like doing something as opposed to talking, but I couldn't help it. You invited me and I wanted to be here.
Well, I appreciate you taking some time out of what I am sure is an insanely busy schedule. I know we are busy here getting our couple of booths set up, so I can't imagine how busy you actually are. But I do want to start with a question that's probably the most interesting to me. Is I watched a lot of the interviews last year leading up to Fanatics Fest. We went to it. Awesome venue. We had a great time. It was a really, really fun trip. But when you left New York last year in August, what was the biggest takeaway for you?
That's a great question, actually. I think for me, the number one biggest takeaway was a deep, deep exhale and the fact that we pulled it off, right? Building something new is never easy. Doing something original is not easy. And then doing it at the scale we did it in the public setting that we did is very high risk. And so there was a lot of stress leading into the show of like, is anybody going to show up? Are they going to like this? So I think the biggest takeaway was, wow, like we pulled off something really exciting that seemed to really resonate with fans. And that's the number one measure of success to us is were fans happy? Did they love this? Did they have a great time? Like, did they have an experience that really moved them? And I think we were able to say yes to that, even walking out of the show. And then subsequent data and information confirmed it even further.
Yeah, it was definitely an exciting trip. I know for our team, we had never we'd never been to New York for any kind of like real card event, any kind of card show, and to be able to be in this, in the city. We'd never been to the Javits Center, absolutely beautiful venue.
Great building.
Yeah, I'd never been to Comic-Con, so like I had really no idea what to expect. My wife had been a few times for her job, and she had mentioned how awesome it was, but really, really a great time. But I think one of the things I left thinking about was, I don't know if I necessarily left with this. I shouldn't say that, but more into the announcement piece you guys followed with. I think it was end of 24 where you talked about it's now going to be in June, right?
Yes.
Pre-national, obviously in the card world, the national is really the
thing.
thing.
It's an amazing show.
Yeah. It's the thing. What are you expecting? What do you think the biggest expectation will be for you with now going into June to have this event rather than post-national in the middle of August like we did last year?
Yeah, for us, the reason to move was a couple of things. Primarily, it was access to current NFL players because that August timeframe just doesn't work well.
Yep.
Because they're in camp and even preseason when we ran the first one. The second was the ability to access international soccer players, right? And those were the two primary reasons that we moved forward in the calendar year. And I think we've done a really great job with current NFL players. When you look through the list, we just added Justin Jefferson yesterday.
Wow.
Goal. I'm a Minnesota guy, so pretty excited about that. The best receiver in the NFL. But Jamar Chase and CJ Stroud and Joe Burrow and Micah Parsons, and you can keep going down the list of an amazing lineup of current NFL players. Unfortunately, Club World Cup, which is a fairly cool tournament that's happening all over the U.S., is coinciding with us, so we didn't do as well with current international football soccer players as we wanted. But I think that's going to correct itself. We've got some really strong relationships with leagues and some really strong relationships with clubs that we think are going to help that in the future.
Awesome. Awesome. Now, you've got a ton of different athletes from, again, you talk about now the addition of so many NFL guys. You obviously had Brady and Gronk last year, but they're not current NFL players. But you bring on some big names this year. Obviously, you guys had a ton of wrestlers last year. You're bringing a lot of those back. Major influencers, some humongous names were at this, at the first ever Fanatics Fest. What is it like working with so many athletes and influencers all at once? And, what are some of the complexities that come with that?
I think the complexities are mostly around scheduling and trying to figure out who's available and when. And then it's down to like, what are you going to do? Right. And last year, this was a big challenge because athletes are used to coming and doing appearances. They're
Yeah.
used to signing, they're used to photo ops. But we actually said, like, well, could you stand on a stage, with other sort of entertainers and athletes, talk about different topics? That was very original and very foreign to a lot of these athletes. So that sort of took some convincing. I think we've established now that people want it, that it's exciting, and that it's really engaging.
Yeah.
But that took a minute. Then it was like, okay, we also want you to like dress up like another player and walk around the show. Like
Yeah.
what? Right? Or this year, Fanatics Games, which we can talk about, which is we want you and 49 other athletes to compete against each other and 50 fans in 8 competitions all over the show floor. It's like, sorry, you want me to do what now? Like, so when we're doing novel, original things, like it sounds really fun when it's, 5 of us sitting around talking about it. Convincing some of these folks that, like, no, this is going to be awesome. Just trust us. This is going to break the internet. Just trust us.
Yeah.
That becomes a little more challenging. But it's very, very helpful to have Michael Rubin, on the tip of those conversations because
Yeah.
he's the one saying basically, no, you're gonna do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Michael can be fairly convincing in ways that, frankly, I can't. So
Sure. Sure. Yeah. Now, again, I think that's a great point is, you're not asking Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski to just kind of like sit, sign some autographs and, leave. I was next door neighbors with Mealy Pops with my phone out when Rob Gronkowski comes up and spikes a card, live on a show on the show floor,
yeah,
on a showcase. I, saw Livy Dunn and Jake Paul buy cards. But that goes back into, you're asking them to do more. Fanatics games this year, $1 million cash prize, Ferrari, LeBron Gold Refractor, obviously huge stakes. But you've got the athletes in there. You've got 50 fans that are going to be involved in this. What are kind of your expectations or maybe hopes for what this will look like, come June?
yeah. So the game specifically, I'll talk about. So first of all, fans, you can still register. I think, well, it's until the 6th, so we may be off just a little bit from when we're talking to when you put this out.
Yep.
But if it's open, you can put forward a video, you can go to the Fanatics app and you can say, like, I want to compete in the games. And we're choosing 50 fans to compete with and against 50 athletes, entertainers, and streamers, right? I think this is going to be epic. It has the potential to be a total mess because this is 100 people competing in 8 things all over the show floor, and we're going to try and move all of them around, keep score fairly, and give away $1 million. Like, what could go wrong? But I think when it's all said and done, it's going to be amazing content that comes out of this. And I think there's 2 surprising things. One, the athletes are really freaking serious about
Oh,
this. Like
I'm sure.
they want to win, right? They're not just like, nah, whatever.
Yeah.
The second thing is I think we've constructed this in a way that I don't think it's a lock that an athlete is going to win it, right? The 6 different competitions are not all like about speed and power. There's a lot about accuracy,
Yep.
right? There's a little bit of artistic flair when you do the WWE superstar walk on, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And you drop your 2 lowest scores. So even if there are a few in there that are very athletic focused, you're not an athlete. You can drop those 2 scores and crush the rest of them. So I don't think this is like a shoe in that an athlete's going to win. So I think it's going to be really fun. Again, it's novel, it's original, It's something that's never been done before,
Yep.
which is really exhilarating and absolutely terrifying to try and pull off.
And I think that's what makes Fanatics Fest so fun because, a lot of the way you're describing this is like the way I kind of, I'll just be honest, I went into it last year. It's like,
Sure.
what do you
It's okay.
expect, right? Like it's Fanatics, like you have high expectations, but you really don't have any idea, right? Are people going to show up? Are you going to be able, like, as a dealer, I'm like, are we going to be able to sell things? Is it going to be cool? Are we going to see cool people? Like, what is it? And I think that's the one thing, like, more of a point than a question, but, that's the one thing I left with last year and has me way more excited going into year two is, well, we've seen what year one looks like. I have a pretty high expectation that Fanatics, events, your team is. I'm sure you guys took feedback and are going to improve a bunch of things, and we're going to go into year two. And I think the bar is, it's set really high, but stuff like this, I have a feeling this is going to be way bigger than Fanatics.
Yeah.
Fanatics Fest One was.
It's going to be bigger. It's going to be richer, if that makes sense. Like there's just going to be more to experience, more to see, more to do, more to hear, more to watch. Like it's just going to be more to buy, like better merch and better exclusives and collabs and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right. And I think like one of my mantras through my career for whatever it is has been make new mistakes. And the whole point is like fix the stuff that was bad that inhibited or impeded the fan experience, right? Fix it. And surprisingly, it's almost always logistics, right? Like, which is very boring, but it's logistics. It's helping people experience what is special. You can't create friction. You need to make it smooth. So fix the stuff and then innovate. Do something new, do something big, do something bold that's going to like really wow people. And if you keep doing that, and do it well, you'll keep iterating and growing. You'll fix the stuff that was broken. You'll innovate and be bold and take risks. And some of it's not going to work. And you're either going to stop doing it because it wasn't well received, or you're going to fix it because it was a logistical problem that wasn't quite right. And then you're going to get it right. And then the next year, you're going to try new things. And if you keep doing that, it's a way that you continue to invent and create new ways to delight the fan base and the community.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, I'm very eager for, a few weeks from now to be back in New York and to see, everything you guys have, fixed, but also added. So let me kind of ask you that though. What are you most excited for as we sit here, a couple weeks away from Fanatics Fest 2? What are you
Yeah.
most excited for?
Entirely, it's about people. And like I think all these activations that the leagues are doing are going to be amazing, and I think the content we're creating is going to be amazing. I think the exclusives are going to be amazing. Fanatics Games is going to be an adventure, but to me, it's about people and moments, and that's like fans having these once in a lifetime moments that they're always going to remember, right? And it's about my team who like, we've been through a lot, and seeing them perform and succeed and experience the success that comes with pulling something off like this. Like those are the things that drive me that I get most excited about. I mean, between you and me, like I'm not a big celebrity guy. I'm not a big like hero worship. It's just not my thing, right? Like I love seeing fans happy. I love seeing them be like, that was amazing. I never thought I was going to get to do something like that. I love seeing a team achieve and people do things they didn't think they were capable of. That's what drives me.
I love it. I love it. I'm juiced. I cannot wait. It's hard to believe it's so close. It seems like
I
just
know.
yesterday we were leaving. So I'm excited to see everything you guys, have been working on. You did mention in that little bit there though that, you mentioned more exclusives. We've seen two of the product exclusives so far. I think it's like Series 2, and then we also have F1. Any hint, any preview on what that third
Yep.
exclusive product might be?
I think the third exclusive, I think we're announcing it like around the top of the month, so around early June. It'll be familiar to those that were at the show last year. So I'll leave it at that, and you can take that tease as you wish. But I think it'll be very exciting, and I do know that if you bought something similar at last year's show, I think the resale market is strong. So
Very cool. All right. Well, excited to see what that is here before too long. Now, we've talked a lot about Fanatics Fest, right, and what that is and what that is going to become. But a little ways back, there were other talks about other shows, maybe some more regionalized ones, some stadium shows potentially happening. Those have since been put more on the back burner. Any, any idea if those will be returning anytime soon, or is this more of a focus right now to continue to build Fanatics Fest into one of the premier sports collectors events in the world?
I think we were so excited about some of those regional card focused shows and really believe that there's a market for those with a slightly different interpretation. In the end, it became clear how massive Fanatics Fest was and could become. I think it was pretty easy to prioritize where we needed to spend our time. Um, it's easy to think about, you know, Fanatics and what a big company it is and all of the big things they're doing. And we are absolutely tapped into that. But we're a small little offshoot, there's
Sure.
25 of us. And it's like right now between WWE World and Fanatics Fest and a couple other little things we're working on, like we're tapped, like there just isn't the time. So I think when it came down to prioritization of, well, what do we need to, where do we need to put our energy and where's the sort of what's going to really move the needle, it was clear that it was Fanatics Fest. And so we said, let's simplify our lives a little bit. Let's not distract ourselves. Will we go back to the idea of some regional card shows? Like, I would love to. Do I know when? I don't. Like, could that be next year? Maybe. Or maybe we do another Fanatics Fest somewhere else in the world. And I think if you were to sort of keep it simple and say,
Yeah.
would we do another Fanatics Fest or would we do a couple of regional card shows? I think we are best positioned and the only entity that could probably do something like Fanatics Fest of scale and reach is us. I think there's lots of folks that could probably do some cool regional card shows. And so I think, again, to me, that talks about like, well, where should our energy go? What's the right thing for us to do? And not be competitive with others or, customers. Think about that.
Yeah.
Like, this is the right space for us, I think, to be in for now. But to my point around each show, like we always want to innovate, right? We always want to find new things to do. So never say never, but I think for now our business is focused really on Fanatics Fest or fests.
All right. Well, I've got one more. Obviously, I appreciate so much of the time so far, and am excited to be in New York here and talk more in person soon. But before I go, I've got to ask: are you the person to ask around potential athletes at booths? You've got some big names this year. We've got two big booths in the middle of the show floor. I mean, I definitely wouldn't be upset if Tom Brady or, Jane Daniels walked by and wanted to talk cards or purchase something or, throw some slabs on some showcases.
Totally. So we, I don't know whether I'm the right person or not, but I'm a person. I'm pretty sure I'm a person. We just actually yesterday finished what we call our run of show for most of the athletes, which basically just means like, when are they arriving? When are they leaving? And what do they have to do in between? And so we would love to figure out a way to get some athletes over to you guys. I will say this between signings, photo ops, appearances in booths, Make a Wish, Fanatics games, different stunts, panels, podcasts. We keep them pretty busy. So, don't hesitate to email me and I will absolutely reply with I shall do my best. But you are the first person to ask me that. So that does make you top of the list technically. So
There we go. That's all I care about. Well, I greatly, greatly appreciate the time. Looking forward to connecting at the show and hearing more after about how it went. So thank you again for coming on.
totally my pleasure. I'm so happy to talk to you and like anything you need, short of Tom Brady coming to your house to wash your car or something, I'm happy to do anything I can to help and appreciate the support, helping to sort of get word out to the hobby and helping to make the show an amazing show. We really appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Lance.
Cheers.
Bye.